Hi there. My name is Kenita Scripsma, and I'm the founder and CEO of SEMA Global Consulting. Today, I'd like to talk to you about chicken. Actually, this is better titled Food for Thought. All right, so just track with me for a minute. I had an experience several years ago that really changed my heart, that really changed how I was experiencing things around me, and actually how people were experiencing me. And here's where the chicken comes in. So I was working with a chicken breast and I decided to fillet it, which means slicing it through the middle for you folks who aren't clear on what filleting is. And basically it opens up. And so I can put whatever ingredients I wanted on the inside, what kind of seasonings I wanted to do, or even stuff it with, bacon or cheese or other veggies. And so this particular day, as I filleted the chicken and opened it up to get it ready for seasoning, I looked down at the chicken and it was in the shape of a heart. And that's where I lost it. I wept. I don't know where the tears were coming from. I don't even know what was going on in my story at the time that caused me to be so tender. But the reality was, here I was looking down at a piece of chicken that really didn't matter about a half an hour ago, and now it was reminding me of my heart. And so I started to ponder the things that were in my heart, and I realized very quickly that I had pain, I had rejection, I had struggle, I had hurt, all wrapped up in the core of my heart. So I quickly finished up with the making the chicken, and I got it ready to put in the oven. And as that happened, the tears kept coming. So of course I did the next best thing. And as a coach, I typically do this. I go grab my journal and I start to write stuff into it to share what it is that I'm really going through and to kind of unpack what I was feeling at that moment. And what I discovered were that these were some elements that were in my heart. These were some ingredients. Maybe some seasonings could be another word that I had in my heart that were seasoning my heart. And I am a firm believer of the phrase, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And it dawned on me that in my story, the hurt, the pain, the rejection, the anger that was seasoning my heart was showing up in conversations. I was complaining. I was bitter. I was angry. I was sarcastic, which is actually a mask for anger. And I was starting to realize that I wasn't really being gracious and kind because I didn't have grace and I didn't have kindness in my heart at the time. The struggles were real, right? Okay, getting back to the chicken. So I seasoned the chicken and I put it in the oven and I'm preparing it to serve my family for dinner that night. Well, for this particular dish, I had to put it in the oven. That made me think about the situations in my life that have felt like an oven. And during that season in my life, I was actually feeling like there were a few situations that felt like the heat had been turned up and I was in the oven for a really long time because some of these situations felt like they'd been going on for quite a while. So sometimes the vehicle by which our heart is prepared or our heart is nurtured or seasoned is a vehicle that requires a lot of heat turned up for a long time. So as this chicken is being prepared for dinner to serve to my family, I'm also reflecting on the fact that I am an individual who is serving other people in my story, in my journey. And I really need to take a hard look at what are the ingredients in my story? What are the things in my heart that I'm pouring out of my mouth? I'm a firm believer of the phrase, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so what is in my heart that's pouring out? I realized that the season that I was in, where the heat was turned up for a very long time, allowed for some ingredients to really take root. The anger was starting to take root as bitterness. I was starting to feel really depressed and frustrated and sad a lot of the time. And actually, in all honesty, I was really angry a lot of the time. And so I really needed to get a handle on what were those ingredients, what were they causing in my story, what was I willing to do about them so that I could be served up in a more effective and healthy way to the people around me. Well, that night, dinner was most certainly ready. My family loved it, and I got an intimate lesson on what was in my heart and that definitely gave me some food for thought. So I hope that this food for thought has given you an opportunity to think about what are the elements in your heart? What is the vehicle by which those elements have been placed in your heart? What are you willing to do about them? Are they there in such a way that you can serve it up to somebody else and encourage them, support them, empower them, equip them? Or are you giving them a taste of bitterness that you're carrying in your heart? A taste of sarcasm, anger, hurt? Only you can do that personal work. And in the meantime, enjoy the journey. And remember, consider the food for thought for a moment and be blessed.